Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today's video we're going to be back on the patch notes, and it is the patch notes for 1.2.5. Let's check them out. Okay, so these are the patch notes for 1.2.5 for Sea of Thieves, and it is the second and final week of the Cursed Cruise Bilge adventures. It's your last chance to get the rewards, the Whaling Barnacle weapon set. These weapons are only available for the Bilge adventure, but they have announced that the commendations and doubloons and titles will still be available after the event ends, but the limited time cosmetics will no longer be up for grabs. So patch 1.2.5 includes some updates to the barrel inventory system, key performance improvements, fixes, and crash fixes and issues. So after feedback shared with us about changes made to barrels in inventory management in patch 1.2.4, design director Mike Chapman gave further insight into why these were made. There is a forum about that, and in patch 1.2.5 we see the first of our quality of life improvements to the barrel system. These improvements to empty barrel identification and resource level increases are on the first of many improvements we have planned for the future. Okay, so the first bit of the updates are the Bilge doubloons. To reward pirates to keep the skeleton scourge at bay, doubloons for Cursed Cruise commendations will remain available to earn even after the Cursed Cruise Bilge adventure ends. The empty barrel tooltip. The barrels now display a tooltip to indicate they are empty. Players will no longer need to interact with the barrel in order to discover there's nothing inside, which is a great thing. Resource balancing. Barrels are now less likely to be found empty in the world, helping to reduce the time taken to restock a ship. The quick menu. The equipment and resources tab within the quick menu have been swapped around, as the resource tab is the most used commonly and should be the easiest to access. And then they've got here, take this too. Players can now give and share treasure items in the same way they give cannonballs and bananas. Gunpowder kegs and chests of 1,000 gold will still need to be dropped to be exchanged. That's an interesting thing. So, I mean, you could literally imagine. I'm just going to put a side note here. Imagine doing a skeleton fort with a full fleet. So we'll say three brigantines, a galleon, and a couple of sloops, and they've all got max players. So that's nine. Let's say a galleon, 13, and then a couple of sloops. 15 players. So imagine 15 players just literally standing in a line, passing the items from the fort when you finished it to a ship. Oh, it'd be so funny. But let me know what you think about that. Okay, so fixed issues this week are the fixed issues with the telescope clipping. Cage pigs can now be fed again. Bounty schools which are washed up and the island can now be picked up. The hunter jacket and trousers now display with their correct colours. I know a few people commented on that one. The solo sailor crew can now access crew privacy. Items placed at the bow of the brigantine can now be picked back up. It is no longer possible to be kicked out of the ship's cannonball carrel inventory due to the ship's movement on the waves. Players hit by the emote cursed cannonball will no longer experience the hit animation when the effect wears off. It is no longer possible to scroll for the UI on the ship selection menu. Shooting a blunderbuss underwater will now display the correct VFX. And the known issues for this week's are the merchant alliance crates on the board of the ship which sinks will not float up to the surface. They've identified the issue and they're working on a fix. Gold metal skeletons can not be affected by buckets of water. That's an important one. They have a fix for this coming in a future update. The download size are 1.03 gigabytes for Xbox One and Xbox One X, and 1.18 gig for Windows 10. So there you go. That's some interesting things that they've done there. They've improved the barrels. A lot of people have had a little bit of a complaint about it. Not got to use them yet, but I'll let you know what my thoughts are. The thing I don't know if I put it in a video or not, but I definitely was talking about the equipment and resources tabs did need to be moved around, so it's good that they are switched now. And I think, like I say, that's the beginning of the end of the wheel, which could free up for other things, I suppose. But I mean, you don't really need to go into that wheel anymore, or just keep that wheel for equipment reasons, and then they could have future extra things, and they've got that full wheel to use. Take away the bananas, take away the cannonballs, and take away the planks off the wheel. You might as well just go straight to the the resources on the start of it. So let me know what you think of the patch notes. Be interesting to see how you feel about the doubloons staying for the rest of the times, which is pretty cool. I think that's a fair thing to do. Obviously the improvements to the barrels and the switching of resources and equipment. That's it for today's video. If it's been helpful for you, don't forget to consider subscribing, liking, sharing and commenting. Have a great rest of your voyages, guys, and take care.